I want to start off with you, Mr. Bharat, if we can get your take on how you see this prisoner swap. Are you surprised, first of all, that President Ghani has announced this, and that too just a day before this bombing that took place today in Kabul, killing 7 civilians?
Well, I mean, I sit in Washington today, and the political climate as we stand, and if I contextualize it, nothing really surprises me. And when we transcend this to Afghanistan, where things are, more dicey, things are, there is an instability politically from the U.S. I think we should not be surprised. I think we should give credit to President Ghani for trying to pull a rabbit out of his hat. He's trying everything that he can to win peace for his country. And in my view, this is kind of a pragmatic view to move forward, saying, there are many approaches that have not worked. Why not attempt an approach that might potentially work and might give something like this a chance? And I think any initiative that President Ghani that he takes towards achieving peace and stability for his country, we must find a way to come around and support it, and we must find a way to encourage it. I think if that is the goal, part of the reason we're not where we want to be in Afghanistan is because we don't know where we want to be in Afghanistan. And amongst the regional, domestic, and international players, I don't think there is any consensus about where we want to be in Afghanistan. And I think, and many times, many of us internationally have said this must be Afghan-led and Afghan-owned. And if President Ghani is taking a decision, we as an outsider at some level should be helping him to support him in this decision and say, we're with you, we support you, and whatever outcome that comes, we will be with you. I think that's where my personal view on this situation will be.
Okay, fair enough. Ms. Tania, is this to you also President Ghani trying his best to try and create an atmosphere of peace to get the Taliban to talk, or also a kind of a desperate measure or a compromise, considering that earlier on he would say that releasing any Haqqani network Taliban prisoners would be crossing the red line for his government?
Well, I think there's several factors. As our colleague Bharat pointed out, it's definitely an effort on the part of Ashraf Ghani to take ownership, for the Afghan government to take ownership of the stalled peace process. They've been saying all along that this process has to be Afghan-led, Afghan-owned. So what it does is it shows that the Afghan government is also willing to make difficult concessions in order to move the talks forward. And that it is also capable of making those concessions. And I think that sends a very strong message there. On the other hand, it also has to be pointed out that these high-value prisoners were released after long and intensive negotiations with the Americans. So the Afghan government has been given the assurance that these prisoners will not become a threat again, that they will be under strong supervision. I believe that's one of the conditions of the release, that they will be in Doha under supervision.